So this is the Corsair SF1000L SFX-L power supply, and I picked this up because I was going to replace the one that came with the, this is actually the NR200P Max that came with a V850 80 plus gold power supply, which should be enough to power this RTX 4090. Redoing my personal rig. This card is a really power hungry card, and the 850 watts should run it, but I'm having issues with the cables with that adapter. I couldn't find any Cooler Master, like an additional PCI Express cable for this. This is actually just a run-through channel. It's not really a dedicated PCI Express cable. The MSI box, when I unboxed it, it was saying that I had to have it plugged in straight to the power supply for it to deliver enough power. And I've saw some videos online saying the same thing. So I bought this one off of Amazon because I couldn't find one on Cooler Master's website, and this thing doesn't work. It doesn't go through for whatever reason. It won't go in this adapter. That's the whole story behind this, and it's really unpractical because this already comes with a power supply. It's the whole reason why you buy this kit. And if I was to do it again, probably won't buy the NR200P Max. For $350, the original price point, this is a great value. But at $460 and they don't throw in an extra PCI Express cable, it's just kind of ridiculous. And I know what you're saying, why won't you just find another cable? The only other website that I found was Mod DIY, and that thing was going to take a month to get to me. I'm not trying to wait a month for this rig. I'm trying to play Diablo 4 for the beta this weekend, and I'm not going to have enough time. So, yeah, so that's why we got this, and we're going to see how it goes. I'm a little bit worried because this is an SFX-L power supply. You know, that's a regular SFX power supply. I don't know if I'm going to have any clearance issues with the 280mm rad at the top. We're going to see. So we're going to unbox this now. Took the plastic off. Let's see. Oh, okay. It's going to open that way. All right. Important information. Silica gel packs. These are zip ties. This is the regular power cable that goes into the wall. All of your PCI and other power cables, all the cables essentially. This is fully modular. Comes with this. I don't know what this is. Oh, this is for, I guess some cases you would need this, but in this case, I don't think we're going to need it. So I'm just going to place that there. That's like a little plate for the power supply. So this is it. So SFX-L is a new form factor of small form factor power supplies, or SFX power supplies. They're apparently slightly, forgive the mess in my room, slightly bigger than the regular SFX power supplies. I have to say, this is a really nice looking power supply. So I have the flash turned on just so you can see everything. Yeah, it's 80 plus gold. I was hoping it'd be like 80 plus platinum, but you know, it is what it is. Let me flip it around for you guys. One cool thing about this power supply is that it natively supports that new 12-pin adapter. So you can plug this straight, and they have the cable in it's one of the cables in here. All right, guys, this is the power supply that came with the Cooler Master. This is the Cooler Master V850. This is an awesome power supply, 80 plus gold. But again, like I said, biggest issue I have is I can't find a specific cable that fits into this, and you cannot just buy any random cable. It has to go with the power supply manufacturer, and sometimes even this, it has to be the same exact model because of the way they wired the power supply. And here it is compared to the SFX-L. Again, there's a big gap here. It's going to be a bit of a concern, but I'm going to go ahead and build this and we'll see what happens. One of the things I recommend before you put the power supply in is have this CPU power cable plugged in already and then kind of route it in. That way it just becomes a lot easier. One of the things I want to point out as well is that, as you can see here, it says SFX-L. This is where Cooler Master recommends you line up this bracket, but again, we have that 280mm rad, so it doesn't give us clearance. So I put it on here, and I'm just gonna see if that works. And if it doesn't, I might need to remove these two fans at the top of the radiator, and I might have to find a way to get some slim 140mm fans. And I'd hate to have to go that route because I've done so much already to this pre-built case setup, and I'd hate to have to go order another thing and delay the build further. So we're gonna try this and see if I can still route the cables and get everything through, and then we'll go from there. All right, so this is what everything looks like so far, guys. I got the motherboard cables plugged in, my CPU cable plugged in. I just have the GPU cable plugged in as well. This is the new 12-pin power adapter for all these new NVIDIA cards, so it'll be native to fit in this RTX 4090. And see how much it's sticking out here. Now I just got to do some cable management, try to tidy things up, and pray to God that all of this fits and everything works. All right, so this is it. I've got everything lined up, plugged in. I had to remove one of my slim 120mm Noctua fans, as you can see, because these cables were and the all-in-one tubing for the radiator, the AIO, this was in the way, and I'm trying as much as possible to avoid it kinking or anything like that, or having any issues. A little bit worried about it, honestly, but we'll see, and I'll test out the temperatures, and hopefully there's no issues there. This one's plugged in. This fan should work. I screwed these in. I couldn't get the rear screws to go in though, but I don't really care. This is like a really maxed out build with as far as this graphics card's going. So hopefully, fingers crossed everything works. I have the power switch turned on, so I'm gonna boot it up and we'll see. Fans are spinning. The exhaust fan down there is spinning. These fans are spinning. I can feel the air pass through. I think we just did it. After a really, which was supposed to be a straightforward build, I was coming from my NZXT H1. We'll run some tests now, test the stability of the system, and then just close her up. So there you go, guys. That's what it looks like with the tempered glass setup. But yeah, let's go ahead and try running Cyberpunk here. So the game is running at 111 frames per second. And I'm sorry, guys, and again, I'm doing all of this on my phone, so it's a little bit hard for me to show you what's on my screen, what it looks like while trying to play. So this will be a little bit difficult. So settings, let's try the ray tracing overdrive mode. Now, I know this setting just completely crushes any graphics card, including the 4090. I saw some tests where they were only getting like 30 frames per second. Let's try it without DLSS enabled, so with no frame generation. But let's do it with DLSS super resolution. Let's have it focused on quality. See if that works. These are the settings I'd like to play it in, so let's see. All right, as you can see, 31 frames per second, not the most ideal situation, but damn, does this game look really good. So I'm gonna try to squeeze more performance out of this. Let's try DLSS with performance in mind and see if that helps. Okay, so now it's much more playable at 62 frames, hovering 50 to 60 frames per second. So if you want really good quality and ray tracing overdrive and some pretty good settings, then this is kind of the setup to go with. The lighting, it just looks amazing. Now let's try to see if we can get more performance out of this. Some people like to have at least 100 plus frames per second. So this, I would turn on frame generation. It's a new thing from NVIDIA, and basically it will introduce more input lag. So right off the bat, we're at 100 frames. So definitely much more noticeable, definitely smoother. And wow, this game looks so good. And I can notice the input lag, you know. It's, if you're playing a single player game like this, you know, and it's not competitive, I don't see the issue. A 1440p monitor, but this monitor goes all the way up to 165 hertz, so I would most likely be running this with the frame generation. The input latency isn't as bad as, even though I could notice it, I don't think it's that terrible that it would deter me from playing the game. Yeah, so Cyberpunk ray tracing overdrive on the RTX 4090. All right, guys, if you want to see more about this build and about this setup, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. I plan to make some videos again, and just do more updates regarding this whole setup.